Good morning. Hey, it's Alex. My voice. I should have brought some water out here. I can't believe I didn't. But hi, welcome to my channel. My name's Alex. I'm currently sitting outside, just kind of enjoying the morning air. I've been out here since like 7 a.m. The sun is kind of in my eyes. That's why I'm squinting. Should probably face the other way, but oh well, we've already started. I am excuse me, the throat chakra needs a little clearing. I'm not used to using it, so this is new for me. Um, Apparently, Spirit agrees. Anyway, welcome to my channel. Coco and Melanin. You may also know me from Tumblr as Coco and Melanin Sims. I do a lot of Sims content there, and on Instagram too, but I may talk about some of that stuff here. Maybe sometimes I'll stream as well. That's not really something I've done before, but again, in the interest of doing things that we've never done before and coming out of our comfort zone, that may be something that happens here. As far as introducing myself, like I said, I'm Alex. I don't really know how to describe myself at this point in my life. I've kind of always described myself as like 3 raccoons in a human suit. I am a neurodivergent weirdo, and that was a crow. So that's nice. I'm super into mystical, spiritual things. I'm very witchy. I love nature, love being outside. Nature responds to me when I sit with her. See lots of butterflies, birds, dragonflies, all sorts of things. So I think like even like the first time that I ever recorded a YouTube video, I had a butterfly fly directly into my face, like on camera. It was super cool. I really love butterflies. They're like my favorite symbolism. There's so many different types of them, so many different colors. They're just gorgeous. I love them. But anyway, I guess more about me. I like to write. I am an avid writer. Super love fiction, the young adult genre. I've got 3 books in here right now. This is actually the second installment in the Girls of the Girls of Paper and Fire series. I just read Girls of Paper and Fire, so now I'm making my way through this one as well as another book. Super into romance as well. Young adult romance, fiction, just super into fantasy, sci-fi, all of this. Thank you very much for the win, because it's kind of hot out here. Yeah, so I've got like a plethora of interests. I love to yap because I'm a Gemini. Um, I'm super into astrology and spirituality and all things weird and mystical. Um, I am a self-pronounced mermaid and fairy. A lot of air and water placements, so that's kind of why. I love the water. I'm like very connected to nature and just life, honestly. Um, I started this channel because I wanted to yap on the internet to people that I have never met before, and try to create a community of people that are like me, while also sharing my gifts and talents with the world, which I'm still kind of learning what those are. So you're gonna find out at the same time I do. So that's fun. If you'd like to come along for that ride, feel free to do so. If not, and you know, watched a few minutes of this and decided to swipe away, that's totally fine. Appreciate the few seconds that you did spend on me. If you are still here, I came on today to actually do something specific. I am, as I said, a writer. It's been a journey with writing for me. The last few years have been a lot emotionally, spiritually. And I'm recently, sorry, I had to clear my bag. I've recently decided to get back into, writing and things like that. Um, and with that being said, it's been a long time since I have felt open enough emotionally or physically, spiritually, mentally to be able to write. Um, it's been a real long time, but I've been writing since I could remember. I know we all remember the. Okay, apparently my bag just got blown like halfway across the yard, so I'm gonna go get that. Okay, now that we've got our bag back, I'm gonna put something in there just to anchor that since the wind is just, really talking today. Um, oh, look at these cute little bookmarks that I have. They're so adorable. I got them from a black-owned business. I have to remember what it is, but I'll link it in the bottom of the video once I remember the name of it. But like, she makes really cool bookmarks, and I love them. But yeah, I've been writing ever since I could remember. From the youngest of ages, it's been one of my favorite pastimes. I remember my childhood computer, the first computer that we got, back when AOL was a thing, because I'm a millennial. I created my own, how you could have like different usernames and stuff or whatever for each person who uses the computer. So I signed on with that, created my own, and immediately started writing. Like, I opened up Notepad and just started writing a story. And that's like my earliest memory of like writing. Um, I had a few diaries as a kid, typical Scorpio moon. I have a lot of feelings, a lot of deep and intense feelings that I need to write down. And unfortunately, had a little bit of a traumatic childhood, and let's just say that I learned early on that writing my feelings down was not something that was safe for me. There was not much privacy, and you know how us Scorpios really love our privacy and really, kind of thrive with the need for that. Um, so I learned to keep my feelings to myself and keep them inside. Thus, this being a really big, kind of thing for me. Learning to set the rules for myself rather than letting my past experiences set the tone for what my beliefs are. It's a new thing for me, but it's gonna work out. So we'll see how my experiences are shaped in the future by um, changing that particular thing. We'll see. Um, and I lost my train of thought. Sorry, I'm very ADHD, very unmedicated, very like, it's very unmanaged. It's managed by me, so I lose my train of thought quite often. So with that being said, writing. That's what I was talking about, writing. Yeah, I used to do poetry slams, and I used to hang out at the library all the time reading books, and I was the kind of kid that would make friends with my teachers because I didn't have friends, because everyone thought I was weird and I got made fun of a lot. Um, I got misunderstood a lot as a kid, as a teenager, as an adult. And obviously that's created some experiences that have made me very introverted. So writing was always an outlet of like a way for me to get all of my stories out. Like I said, I'm a Gemini, Sun and Venus, 11th house, 12th house Mercury, 12th house Gemini. A lot of fun placements. I'm a 3rd house Virgo, so I'm very critical of myself, very critical in general, but I try not to be working on that. writing has always been like a way for me to get my stories out because I have so many of them. I love to yap, and I have not always had safe people to yap to. So yeah, writing was a way for me to get my stories out, to get my feelings out, to explore things that I did not have anyone to help me through. Um, your typical parentified daughter, firstborn daughter, um, very used to people pleasing, taking care of other people. Um, I let writing go for a real long time. Uh, Sorry, I like saw a dove, a mourning dove, and it distracted me. Um, yeah, I've always used writing as an outlet for myself, and getting back into it has been fun. I really liked it. I'm currently writing something that's really nice. I've always wanted to. It feels like it's a story that I've always wanted to put out there. That I've always wanted to kind of like put out in the world. I've read lots of stories similar to it. Um, but it's the kind of thing where it's like, yeah, there's lots of stories out in the world about that particular topic, but like no one's gonna write it the way that you will. No one's gonna tell the specific story that you tell. Um, and you never know how your story and the way that you know, tell something or say something is gonna, you know, make someone else feel, how it's going to, you know, affect someone else. I can remember one of my favorite book series of all time. I read it in high school and it absolutely changed my life. I still have to, I keep forgetting to like figure out what the name of it is so that I can like read it. It was like the coolest, oh, butterfly. Um, it was like the coolest thing that I had ever written. And it was like, you know, very black. It was written by a black author. The characters were diverse as hell. They were black, doing supernatural shit. Um, Coolest thing ever. Love that. It was amazing, honestly. I could not believe that I was able to find a book series like that because at the time I didn't know that black people were writing stories, let alone that like not only were we writing stories, they were writing stories about things that like I was reading from white authors. And I got to read that from the perspective of a black person in like in Avi, in like the vernacular that I'm used to and the dialect that I'm used to, and like representation just fucking matters at the end of the day. Let's start and let's end there. Representation matters. So I have wanted to be a writer since I can remember, and for a lot of my life it has been a dream that I've convinced myself is not possible for me to fulfill. And at this point in my life I am trying to do the impossible. And not just in writing stories. I also really love writing poetry, and I have been doing that about for as long as I've been writing. And it's been a really long time since I've been able to write poetry because my poetry is the kind of poetry that's, let's face it, it's angsty as hell, it's super emotional, it's intense, it's deep, and that type of poetry can't be written when you're not connected to yourself. And I've spent a good amount of my life not being connected to myself, especially a lot of the last few years. So yesterday I was writing and journaling, and I thought, you know, fuck it, I was writing this poem the other day and I couldn't get it out. I couldn't, what I was writing I wasn't connecting to, so I'm just like, oh fuck it, I'll leave it. And then yesterday morning I sat down and I'm like, I'm gonna try to rewrite this because I had a line in my head. I had a line that had come to my head, and a lot of times when I used to write poetry, like that would happen to me. Like a line would come to my head and I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna save that, I'm gonna write it down somewhere. And then like I'd sit down and like try to write some poetry, and I'd like, you know, write out the line, and then like another line would come to my head, and then another one, and then another one. Or like I'd hear something, I just like keep hearing things in my head, and I'd like write it down, and then like suddenly a poem would emerge from that. Um, I didn't realize how much I missed being able to do that and how cool of a thing that was. So after being able to do that yesterday, I was able to write a poem that I am particularly proud of, and I would like to share it with you guys here today. And hopefully it, I don't know, gives something to someone. Maybe it offers, somebody some solidarity, or maybe it's just a poem and somebody likes it. I'd love to hear what you guys think of it. I'd love any responses that you have. But honestly, the whole point is just for me to be able to share a cool poem that I'm. Wow, oh my god, is that a black butterfly? Holy crap, I'm so sorry. That is gorgeous. That is the most beautiful thing I have ever seen. Oh, I have to, it flew away. But do you see it? Like, I'm sorry, that was like gorgeous. I have never seen that butterfly here before. And I get a lot of butterflies. Like, I see a lot of cabbage whites. There's like a yellowish butterfly flying in front of me right now. Two of them actually, another one around here somewhere. But we get a lot of cabbage whites in our backyard. I see monarchs, yellow butterflies. Like, seeing a black one, I don't even know what that means. I feel like I have to look it up. But I'm gonna do that probably when I get off. I only have one phone, so I can't look it up while I'm on the camera. But that was so cool. Thank you, Mother Gaia. That was like the coolest thing ever. So I guess I'm gonna look into that, and maybe I'll put it in the description box what the black butterfly represents. But anyway, I'm just gonna, read this poem, and hopefully you guys like it. This is maybe like the third time I've read this poem, so still working on the cadence. So, if you have any, please keep the, criticisms to a minimum. But anyway, here goes. There is no title for this. This is just, I don't know, feelings. So, how does one make more room? Turn an ocean into a puddle so there's no chance anyone could drown. A tiny heart bursting with affection, aching in my chest, unable to beat. The force would shatter what's left of this delusion. Inside, the pressure builds and builds. My eyes are blurry with reds and blues. The valves of my heart start to leak blues and greens. I am foaming at the mouth with all the words choked up in my throat. But what about the ocean? Where should she dump her depths? Where can she ditch the calm and unleash her rage? Allow her waves to crash the shore. When do I get to speak? With long pauses that titillate the imagination, letting the rage and calm in waves mix with the cadence of my voice as it rings out in true. Only then will the ache stop its rise from my chest to my throat, my temples bulging with thoughts that have no place to go. Metaphorical tape over my mouth, stuffed into a box my heart cannot beat or expand. How long before pen to page, mind to throat, heart to soul is no longer enough? Born to be a wrecking ball, wishing to be the calm. But I am not anyone's piece until I am my own. So how does someone make room? Room is made the same way rivers part valleys, sometimes with a small drip, others with raging ferocity. Which one do you think I'm more interested in? A girl stuffed in a box? A heart shrunken too much for the love and essence that fits inside? A heart shrunken too much for the love and essence that fits inside? Throat closing in like the tide. I have been the dripping puddle. My future brings the rage. A divine feminine bursting out, showering the world in a bloody rain. A force to carve mountains. Driving rifts between cities. I know how to make room, breaking out instead of breaking in, reaching into every crevice, dissolving walls and barriers where they sit, shining bright like the sun, not caring who gets burned. Grow unapologetically like the flowers and the weeds, flowing freely like the wind in any direction I please. Yes, shrinking is for those who don't yet know how to expand. time I read it, it does something to me. Anyway, that's my poem, you know, about me being in my box. Butterfly just flew up to my face. And shrinking down into the tiniest little version of me so as not to, you know, bother anyone. Now I'm thinking about yesterday. I went to dinner with a friend, and she asked me if I don't like being perceived. And of course my answer was yes. I remember in high school I would tell people that I'm a figment of their imagination. I am actually just a figment of your imagination. I do not actually exist. Do not perceive me. I'm actually unknowable 364 days out of the year. Did you know that? I guess this is the one day that I'm knowable. Like, what was it, that podcast, Welcome to Night Vale? Like, the library will be unknowable this Saturday. That's my humor. Self-deprecating, hilarious. The kind that, like, peak trauma and PTSD can create, you know? The kind of peak humor and just hilariousness that only true trauma, true PTSD, true anxiety and depression can create. But yeah, I mean, like, she asked me if I liked being perceived, and I'm like, no, I don't, which is also why this is incredibly difficult for me. I'm literally putting myself on the camera, letting people perceive me and letting people see me. It is mortifying, guys. Actually, I'm not gonna lie, it doesn't feel that bad right now. It feels kind of okay. It feels like intimate in a way, if that makes sense. Like I'm just having a conversation with myself, which I do often. I am a firm believer that talking to yourself is an excellent way to live. I mean, like, how do you people without staff meetings? That's confusing to me. Like, I mean, you're not having staff meetings with yourself. Like, you're not inviting your personalities to a table and asking, okay, like, are we ordering from Chipotle or are we getting Qdoba? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. Why are you not having staff meetings? Start immediately. They're incredibly helpful most of the time. Sometimes the staff meeting is literally just like my 18 different personalities yelling at each other and me sitting there confused. Like, I don't know what's going on because they're all talking at once. But like, the fun thing about ADHD is that, like, it's not just like 18 different personalities like sitting at a table and all talking at once. None of them know they're talking over the others. Like, none of them know it. They're just talking, and like they think they're just having a conversation, and I'm just sitting there like, oh god. And then like I take like some ashwagandha or something, or like put on like some calming music, and then everything chills. Like I said, wildly unmedicated. But anyway, here's to me being perceived. Here's to you being perceived. Here's to writing more poetry that titillates the mind and stimulates the soul. Here's to more weirdness. Here's to less self-consciousness and more confidence. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed my poem. I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about me today and hearing some of my weird banter. I hope you'll be back next time for more. But if not, and you stayed to the end and decided that's enough for you, I absolutely appreciate you joining in for a little bit. It was nice to hang with you. Anyway, if you want to see more, feel free to like this video. Feel free to comment. I'd love to hear from you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more videos. And I'm out. See ya.